asking about quantity using how much and how many. So as you can see, after you had seen the video and heard the conversation and checked what we're using, you probably already noticed that we are using two important words that will help us understand this topic. So we can find in the conversation that they are using how many and they're using how much. You might ask, teacher, but when do I know that I have to use how many? And when do I know that I have to use how much? So let's read the instruction here with the grammar point for the speaking lesson. We use how much, pay attention, it says we use how much to ask about things you cannot count. Can you count the sugar grains that you have in a sugar bag, in a pound of sugar? No, we can't count grain per grain. We can't count it. Can you count the drops of water in a liter of water? No, we can't. We can't count the salt. We can't count the sand. Quantities that are very big and that we usually in English don't count because they are very small for a big quantity of things. So in that case, we use how much. Now, in the other hand, we have, I'm going to use blue for this one. We use how many to ask about things you can count. How many apples have you eaten? How many planets do we have in the solar system? How many moons does Jupiter have? So as you can see, we use how much for things we can count that are uncountable. We use how much for things we cannot count. They are big amounts of things that are usually very small. And we use how many to talk about things that we can count. We can count. So let's see the example where we have here on the book. How much water is on Jupiter? We're using how much. Why? Because we're talking about water, and water is not countable. And here it says, how many planets are in our solar system? So we're talking about planets, so we can know the specific number of planets. That's why we can use it in this way. Okay, so I hope this helps you to understand how we can make questions to get information about quantity using how much and using how many.